So, in the writing of Hathor, there's something very, very interesting about the origins of medicine. When we look at Tahuti and who he was also the same entity as reported to be Hermes with the staff of the snake around going up the large pole with the wings. So that is who is delivering Hathor's first child, Happy, being born to her. And so what we have is really who was who and what they were doing in the Hathor movie in terms of uh, ancient origins of things like medicine and spacecraft engineering, which was Ptah, who was married to Basset, who was reported to be a cat sex goddess, only she was not a sex goddess at all. She bred lions, you see, we mentioned. So we're getting to very important information about who these people were as origins of things that we even have in society, that these great gods perform these duties in their communities as we're writing, and about the geographic location all along the same area where they lived harmoniously, got wired out there with lights. So it was, they had electricity actually. Now, when we mentioned in the other video that the four horsemen of the apocalypse was really, and the nature of the beast that the Bible talked about was really turning upside down and hiding the truth about Hathor and her four sons, because, like I said, the initiations were hidden. The mask of the cow-eared Hathor along the pillars of where the cities were lit up by the initiation in Dendra, which is all over the tomb walls. If you were to look, you will see the initiation depicted with a large, huge light bulb. You'll see it. It's there. And so this was wired all through the cities, and the cities that participated had this, in honor of the initiation, had this cows-like mask with the ears. And so the other animals that were also used by the great pharaohs, I mean, there's quite a few of them that the four children had. They had also the horse, hawk, baboon, and the Anubis, like the jackal. So they had these different animal masks for different attainments. All through Egypt, actually, they used them to hide their initiations so that other people or foreigners or even ETs flying through didn't know what it was. And so they had great security that way. It was like a built in security to their cities. So, in terms of medicine, it was really Tuti who's likely the physician of those areas with his wife Mot, uh, who has been seen in tombs with infants or small ones held and whatnot as well. So there is a lot of information on the temple walls. Mostly was the living initiations that were taking place, and in the tombs was a history of what their lives were, what their accomplishments were, who they were, what they accomplished, what was left to accomplish in the next life, was what was depicted on the ancient tombs of the great ones as well. And it's very interesting. If you were to look up on the internet, there are no bodies really found of these huge, huge pharaohs. Uh, there were bodies of huge, huge skeletons found buried uh, in the earth, where perhaps there was a tomb set up there that was desecrated, destroyed, because there's to this day no single very large necklace uh, or jewel display in any of the museums. So they would have been raided and destroyed, and perhaps the bodies were left there because they were so very, very ancient as almost unmarked graves. So no one has these. We have the exhibit of King Tut. We do not have an exhibit of Hathor, which is, or Horus the Elder, or any of these beings where there was any large bodies left behind for anyone to examine. And so it's mysterious as to what happened to them, which is why some people thought they ascended and never came back and are living on other planets or somewhere. And in fact, they actually reincarnated back on their home planet on Earth because some of us remember who we were and have this information decoded. Otherwise, we wouldn't know. No one else has done it, like I mentioned. So a lot of us are here, in fact, and it's quite mysterious what happened. Was it raiders from extraterrestrial races who flattened some of these and took artifacts home to remember the archives of Earth? Was it tomb robbers? I mean, it could have been both, I suppose, because we do not have, necklaces and bracelets for 100-foot beings, not even 40-foot beings. We don't have anything. Everything is smaller in the Egyptian archives of the great pharaohs and the exhibits that we have on them. So who knows? Who knows if some ET flew by and took a few artifacts, or if they in fact were all just local grave robbers, and if so, what happened to them? Was it all melted down? There's nothing, not even in private collections, any of this. So it's an interesting mystery that we do not really have answers to yet at this time. So I continue with the writing of Hathor and hope you find this information very interesting.